Hacking life with psychology, when tips turn into trips. Eager to climb the corporate ladder, you decided to employ the foot in the door technique, hoping it would secure you a promotion. You started taking on additional tasks, showing your versatility and commitment. However, your initiative backfired. Instead of a promotion, you found yourself buried under a mountain of work with no advancement in sight. At the car dealership, you thought the door-in-the-face strategy would get you the deal of a lifetime. You started with outrageously low offers, expecting to negotiate down to a fair price. But the salesperson didn't play along. Your tactic led to a stalemate, and you left the lot empty-handed, without the car you had set your eyes on. In an attempt to apply the Ben Franklin effect, you asked a rival for a favor, believing it would soften their perception of you. Ironically, it only served to deepen their disdain. They saw through the strategy, interpreting it as manipulation rather than an olive branch, further straining an already tense relationship. Negotiation tables can be unpredictable, so you tried mirroring your opponent's body language, hoping to create rapport and understanding. However, this mirror technique spiraled into a comical mimicry match. Each party mirrored the other's gestures so persistently that the actual negotiation stalled, leading nowhere but to mutual frustration and amusement. Trying to smartly apply Pavlovian principles to your roommates' habits, you thought you could condition them to do their chores by associating them with positive outcomes. Unfortunately, your plan backfired spectacularly. Instead of fostering helpful habits, you inadvertently taught them to associate chore time with avoidance, leaving your living space in a perpetual state of mess. Attempting to apply positive reinforcement to train a pet seemed like a foolproof plan. However, the tables turned when treats were expected for every little task, making the owner jump through hoops instead. This misadventure in training showcased a humorous twist where the pet ended up training the owner, commanding treats at will. Using the mirror exposure effect to make new friends by constantly being around seemed smart initially. Yet, it backfired spectacularly, coming off as overly clingy and weird. The strategy intended to foster familiarity instead alienated potential friends, proving that sometimes, less is indeed more when it comes to building new friendships. Leveraging the scarcity principle in dating by playing hard to get was thought to increase desirability. Unfortunately, it led to spending Friday nights alone, scrolling through social media. This misguided attempt at making oneself seem more valuable by being less available highlighted the fine line between intriguing and invisible. Employing social proof by faking a crowd to sell a product seemed like a clever marketing strategy. The plan quickly unraveled when the truth surfaced, leading to a loss of credibility and trust. This experience served as a stark reminder that authenticity cannot be faked and that trust, once lost, is hard to regain. Trying to utilize the bystander effect to dodge responsibilities by assuming others would step up ended disastrously. Instead of lightening the load, it resulted in bearing the brunt of all the responsibilities. This ironic twist underscored the flaw in assuming others will intervene, leaving one to manage everything single-handedly. Attempting to quit smoking through cognitive dissonance proved counterproductive. The idea was to create discomfort from smoking, leading to cessation. However, instead of quitting, the rationalization for smoking intensified. Inventive reasons to light up emerged, making the habit stick stronger than ever. In the pursuit of limited choices for easier decision-making, the paradox of choice backfired. By narrowing down options, the aim was to alleviate the stress of choosing. Yet, this strategy led to missed opportunities and the realization that a broader spectrum might have offered better selections. The halo effect was leveraged to make a stellar first impression, but the effort came off as insincere. In trying to highlight only the best traits, the authenticity of personality was lost. The result was a portrayal that felt exaggerated and distant from genuine interaction. The sunk cost fallacy became a trap in a failing project. Continuing to invest time and resources with the hope of turning things around, the loss only deepened. The inability to cut losses led to a significant drain on resources, proving that sometimes, letting go is the better strategy. Using the spotlight effect to overcome shyness resulted in heightened self-consciousness. The intention was to diminish the perceived focus from others by realizing everyone is too absorbed in their affairs. Ironically, it led to an overestimation of being observed, increasing anxiety in social settings. Attempting to impress someone with the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, you mention obscure facts you've just learned, hoping to appear well-read and insightful. However, your relentless focus on these niche topics instead paints you as obsessive, driving the person further away as they struggle to relate to your sudden, intense interests. In trying to motivate yourself to study using the Zeigarnik effect, you leave tasks unfinished to remember them better. Yet, this strategy backfires as the accumulating unfinished tasks become overwhelming, leading to increased procrastination. The pressure to complete everything becomes paralyzing, making it harder to start any task at all. Employing the Pygmalion effect, you set high expectations for your team, believing in the power of positive thinking to enhance performance. Unfortunately, your overly ambitious goals only serve to demoralize your team members. The disappointment from failing to meet these lofty expectations sows doubt and lowers morale across the board. When you focus solely on positive outcomes using the focusing effect, you overlook critical details of your tasks. This oversight leads to repeated failures, as the neglected aspects prove vital to the task's successful completion. The strategy, meant to enhance performance, instead results in a series of avoidable mistakes. Attempting to display competence through the Dunning-Kruger effect, you overestimate your abilities and take on tasks beyond your skill set. This misplaced confidence quickly unravels as your lack of expertise becomes apparent, exposing your incompetence. Instead of proving your capability, you highlight your limitations and damage your credibility. When trying to use the anchoring effect in bargaining, the strategy backfired dramatically. Starting the negotiation with an offer too low inadvertently set a poor foundation for the discussion. The result was a final agreement that was far from favorable, leaving a feeling of regret and a lesson learned about the importance of initial figures in negotiation. The framing effect, a powerful tool in influencing decisions, was employed with a twist that was too negative. This approach aimed to sway choices by highlighting potential losses rather than gains. However, it ended up discouraging action altogether. The intended motivation turned into hesitation, demonstrating the delicate balance required in framing information. Applying the endowment effect seemed like a clever way to increase the perceived value of possessions. However, it escalated into an unexpected outcome: hoarding. The emotional attachment to items grew stronger, making it difficult to let go of anything. This accumulation not only cluttered space, but also cluttered the mind, turning a psychological strategy into a personal challenge. In an effort to change a deeply held belief using the backfire effect, the approach unintentionally reinforced the original opinion. The attempt to introduce contrasting evidence to provoke change only solidified the existing stance. This experience highlighted the complexity of belief systems and the counterproductive nature of direct confrontation in changing minds. The von Riestorff effect was leveraged with the intention of standing out in a memorable way. Unfortunately, this attempt to be distinctive ended up drawing attention for all the wrong reasons. The effort to be uniquely noticeable overlooked the context, resulting in a situation where the difference was not celebrated but rather scrutinized, leading to an unintended form of isolation. Falling prey to the gambler's fallacy, one might believe that after a string of losses, a win is due next. However, this misconception leads to a chain of poor decisions, each justified by the misguided hope that luck must turn soon, ultimately resulting in a series of avoidable financial or strategic blunders. Relying on the availability heuristic for quick judgments seems efficient, but it often leads to inaccuracies. This cognitive shortcut bases decisions on immediate examples that come to mind, neglecting a broader, more accurate assessment. Consequently, one may overlook critical information, leading to decisions that are not well-founded or beneficial in the long run. The allure of the optimism bias can be tempting, driving one to view outcomes through rose-colored glasses. While positivity is generally beneficial, an overindulgence in optimism skews perception of reality, leading to underpreparedness for challenges. This delusion can result in significant setbacks when faced with inevitable obstacles. Employing the confirmation bias as a means to prove a point might seem effective initially. However, by selectively gathering evidence that supports one's preconceptions while ignoring contradicting information, one inadvertently narrows their understanding and perspective. This not only stifles personal growth, but also alienates others who might offer valuable insights. The IKEA effect encourages investing personal effort into DIY projects, imbuing them with perceived value. This emotional investment often leads to overestimating the utility or appeal of the finished product, resulting in a collection of items that serve little purpose or interest to others, cluttering spaces with reminders of misjudged effort and misplaced pride. Attempting to stand out by embracing the bizarreness effect, one might think adopting unconventional behaviors or styles would make them unforgettable. Instead, this strategy often backfires, leading to social isolation. What's intended as memorable quickly becomes a barrier, distancing them from potential connections who find their eccentricities more alienating than engaging. Employing the Hawthorne effect with the aim of boosting productivity can inadvertently lead to increased anxiety and decreased performance among team members. The pressure to perform under observation often results in the opposite of the desired effect, leaving individuals feeling scrutinized and unable to perform naturally or efficiently. In decision-making, the effect heuristic can lead individuals down a path of poor choices. This reliance on emotional responses rather than rational analysis tends to cloud judgment, causing decisions that feel right in the moment but ultimately serve to the detriment of long-term goals and well-being. Leveraging the false consensus effect to garner support can leave one facing a harsh reality. Believing that others share your opinions or will naturally come to your side can be a miscalculation, leading to the stark realization that your views are not as widely accepted or supported as assumed, culminating in isolation and reevaluation of one's stance. The hindsight bias might seem like a pathway to wisdom, offering the allure of always having known the outcome. However, this know-it-all attitude alienates others and diminishes the value of collective learning and growth. It creates a barrier to genuine connections, as people are pushed away by the arrogance of unfounded certainty. When attempting to impress during presentations with the serial position effect, focusing on a strong start and finish can lead you to neglect the middle content. This oversight might leave your audience confused or missing key information, undermining the overall impact of your presentation and your credibility as a speaker. Employing the overjustification effect to boost motivation can backfire, diminishing intrinsic interest. When rewards become the primary focus, the genuine passion for the activity wanes. This shift not only reduces engagement and satisfaction but can also make the task feel more like a chore than a chosen pursuit. Using the self-serving bias to enhance self-esteem might lead to an inflated sense of self. While it's beneficial to recognize personal achievements, over-attributing successes to oneself and blaming external factors for failures can foster arrogance. This attitude may alienate others and hinder personal growth and relationships. Applying the negativity bias to always prepare for the worst scenarios can turn one into a pessimist. Constantly anticipating negative outcomes can cloud judgment, making it hard to recognize or appreciate positive aspects of life. This mindset may lead to missed opportunities and a generally less satisfying life experience. Trying to leverage the law of attraction to achieve goals, but ending up attracting trouble reveals a misstep in understanding and application. Focusing solely on desired outcomes without considering realistic actions or potential consequences can lead to unrealistic expectations and, ultimately, disappointment or unintended negative results.